I teach federal income tax, corporate tax, partnership tax, lots of tax courses. I've taught constitutional law. I taught contracts once. And it does help me. Partly it gives me a better sense of what's going on with the students when they're sitting there. Often it makes me realize that I don't know what's going on with the students. That probably more than anything. I used to assume if I'd see a face like this that they didn't like something and they hadn't studied, hadn't prepared in the way they should have. Now I realize that I have no idea what's going on with them. Their leg might hurt, they may be confused, something may have happened with their parents. I don't know. I try to check it out more than I did without putting the students on the spot. And I think it has helped me in that sense be more receptive, more responsive to students, especially in the smaller classes. I have to admit that there are some people on our faculty who don't teach the interpersonal dynamics course and who just have a degree of empathy that is amazing to me, who've always been like that, who've always been really aware of other people and their reactions. So they seem to be up here and they started up here. I'm now here and I started down here, so it's helping me a lot. I went to NYU Law School. I got a JD there, and then about 7 years later I got an LLM there in taxation. I've been teaching here for 25 years. I also have taught a few times at NYU. I taught a little at Stanford, at Golden Gate. Written a lot of books, written a lot of articles in top law reviews, and to be honest, for most of the time, when these articles were published or the books were successful, I thought, okay, I'm doing really good. But almost all of that was my thinking, I'm doing good by other people's standards, I'm succeeding. In this course, when I teach my interpersonal dynamics course, I think to myself, I'm doing good. And it's the only time when I really am believing, this is good. This is not good by someone else's standard. This is like good work to be doing. This just is the right stuff for me to do. I think I was always more interested in people than in the writing and the other stuff. And I felt like I had to do that. I had to succeed to show I could do it. Then once I did it, I freed myself to kind of pay more attention to what I wanted to do, which was have a lot more to do with people. And while I still do write, I like the people interactions and the working with people so much more. I have a degree in psychology, and I don't use that at all really in my teaching. It's not necessary for my course in interpersonal dynamics. What I teach here, I did get some training at Stanford, at the business school, taught there for a while, a little bit, and was trained there to facilitate groups. And in almost every city and almost every town across the country, there are people who do group facilitation and the kind of groups and the kind of work that I'm talking about. Almost none of them are law professors, but I have found that almost all of them would jump at the opportunity to work in a law school to help teach in this kind of program. And in almost every place in the country there's training, which is fairly short and compact, that would allow professors to do this kind of work. There are lots of places where you can learn it relatively quickly, and wherever you are, there are lots of people who would love to do it. And we get, in my course, we have lots of facilitators who aren't law professors who aren't, many of whom aren't lawyers. They may be psychologists, they may be business consultants, but they jump at the opportunity to do the kind of work in these small groups that I do because it's such rewarding work. So it's really doable all over, wherever you are, and at whatever stage you are, if you want to do something that is that rewarding and helpful. I think just about everyone could do it. In this work, the challenges and the joys are often similar. The joy is that there is nothing scripted. I don't know what's going to come out of each class. It really depends on what the people bring to it. I know that I can help people focus now, here and now, focus on themselves, pay attention to listening, talk without talking about others, but it's revealing my own experience. But I don't know what's going to come up. That's the great joy, and sometimes that's a tremendous challenge, because sometimes people bring things up and I say, holy, what do I do now? And I find that it is really helpful for everyone to acknowledge when I'm not sure what's going on. That I'm human too. That I don't, you know, it's okay to not always have the right answer. And I don't always have the right answer. Sometimes it feels a little scary to me. Knowing that I don't always have the right answer helps me learn. And I do learn a lot of times when I don't have an answer, other students do. Sometimes we kind of flail around for a few minutes and no one picks up, and it takes 5 or 10 minutes, and even that's sometimes even half an hour. And that's okay to learn, you know, if you stick with it, even if something takes you by surprise and you don't know what to do, if you stick with it and use these skills, you'll get there, you'll resolve it. The answer isn't always clear. And so that's the greatest joy, and sometimes a little scary.